Today, my topic is about disseminating heritage, Indonesian performing and visual arts in Taiwan. Okay, so for the first, this lecture or seminar will be about 2 hours, but in the first 45 minutes, I would like to just explain a little bit about theoretical performing arts and visual arts in Indonesia. So I have two terms here, which are the heritage and dissemination. So heritage is an inherited culture artifact, or it's a natural object, and it's often preserved to resist change. However, heritage constantly changes its meaning as each generation inherits it. For example, like me, I learned from my mother. I learned dancing, singing, and music from my family. But I will not be changed too much. I will still use what I have learned. So, for example, like what a dance, painting, temple means for one generation may not be the same meanings as the next generation. So that is the heritage. And then the term number 2 is the dissemination, or like if you don't know the words of dissemination, it's like contributes or like spread. So dissemination involves agreeing upon a message to convey and then delivering that message, image, or cultural product as a representation to be interpreted. So disseminating heritage about Indonesia in Taiwan involves reaching an agreement, collaboration, and creativity in representing culture for education and understanding between cultures. So for example, like we just finished, like over the weekend, we had such a great activities, and we collaborate with some students here in Tainan University of Art. We have food workshop, we have dance workshop, music workshop, and so on. So then we exchange so then the students know about Indonesian culture here in Taiwan. Okay, just a short introduction about Indonesia. Maybe some of you, if you haven't been to Indonesia before, I would like to just briefly tell you about Indonesia. So Indonesia, as you know, is one of the largest country in Southeast Asia, and it has many islands and languages and also some ethnic groups. The island can be grouped into like a sub-islands like Sunda Islands, which is the Sumatra, and also Java, Borneo, Nusa Tenggara, including Bali or Timor and Timor. So as you see here, the map of Indonesia, you see here is the Sumatra, here is the Sumatra, and Kalimantan, and Sulawesi. Here is the down on the south is Nusa Tenggara, and we have Bali, Java Island, and the East Timor. So they're divided into sub-islands in Indonesia. Okay, first I would like also to just talk about the performing arts and visual art in Indonesia, but first I will take a look at the various performing arts. So Indonesia has a variety of ethnic groups, religions, languages, and also has various kinds of unique artistic and cultural heritage. And each region of Indonesia its own performing arts and fine arts. And these art are recognized by UNESCO, including the puppetry, traditional dances, batik, sculpture, and also paintings. And traditional arts have become attraction for foreign tourists who visit Indonesia. So there's many tourists who come to Indonesia and they want to learn about our cultures, and some students also go to Indonesia to study, and also tourists. There's many tourists who just want to visit Indonesia because of the arts and also the beautiful places, like Bali, for example. Many tourists come to Bali, people who don't never been to Indonesia or Bali especially, they think Bali is just an exotic place, nightclubs and beautiful hotels. But at the same time, they don't see the beautiful cultures we have. Okay, let me explain about the art, the words of art or seni. In Indonesia or in Bali, there's no really meaning, there's no word for arts, but we call it seni. Seni is like you are seniman, artist. Everyone is seniman in Bali, especially because the activities we have everyday life, it's involved art, seni, like dance, music, drama, puppetry, or any kinds of artworks, because this art cannot be separated. And also correlation between the religion and the tradition is very close. It's everyday life people involved in this kind of arts. For example, temple ceremony, wedding ceremony, and also cremation ceremony. It's involved art. We're making this, as you see here in the pictures of wedding ceremony. As you see behind of the groom and brides, they have kind of artworks there. It made from coconut leaves, bamboo, and this is just a very simple. I choose a very simple one because this day is just like so elaborate and so fancy. People make all these artworks like palace. So yeah, our art is everyday life in Indonesia, or it's in Bali especially. I grew up with making all these offerings, and even like the offerings from food created. It's a very, very beautiful to see. Yeah. Okay, so one of the performing arts that recognized by UNESCO is the Kecak dance, which is like it's very famous in Bali now because it's part of the tourist attraction. Many tourists who come to Bali, they watch these live shows in the few places in Bali, like the Uluwatu temple. So like thousands of people gather there and just to see this live show. But before this Kecak dance was originally one of the ancient ritual dances used as a complement to a ceremony called Sangyang, which aims to expel evil spirits. We have many types of Sangyang dance in Bali, including Sangyang Dadari, Sangyang Memedi, Sangyang Jaran, like a horse Sangyang dance, and many types of Sangyang dance. Let's take a look at this. Kecak dance was performed in one of the touristic area in Uluwatu. Okay. Okay, there's also Pencak Silat. It's a very famous dance, drama, and also singing involved in these genres. And this performing arts of Pencak Silat is kind of martial art that includes several elements like dance, music. There's also theater. There's a story, like they make some stories, tell a story about kingdom or any type of religious themes. So there's many Pencak Silat you can find in Indonesia, especially in the Sumatra. In Sumatra, they call it Randai. In Bali also we have this type of pencak silat, including in this performance called Janger. Janger is a social dance. But now I just want to share video from pencak silat. Okay, thank you, Kina. Okay, as you see, if you never haven't seen any pencak silat performance before, so those are the combination is more a modern pencak silat. They combine with randai, and you have the traditional gamelan or music from Sunda. So it's more contemporary pencak silat. And then next one is the angklung. Angklung is one of the very also famous in Indonesia and also in any other countries now, including Taiwan. We have a few angklung groups here in Taiwan. So angklung is an Indonesian instrument consisting of bamboo tubes attached with a bamboo frame. As you see in the pictures, they have handling position. And also they have sound tube, and they have two sound tube where the melodies, they have different types of melody. And then you have bass hole, and the bass tube where you hold the thing and then you kind of shake it, and then it makes the sound tube 1 and 2. So, and then they play during this angklung. They usually also play during the ceremony, such as rice planting, to scare away the birds, you know, like when you have the rice is ready to harvest. So then they have this ceremony to, because it's make like, so the sound is very high pitch that scare the birds. And also they teach this angklung. Everyone in Indonesia, almost everyone in Indonesia must learn this angklung in the school. When I was also in my elementary school, we learned this angklung, and we we were about 20 kids in the class, everyone hold one angklung and making these beautiful sounds. And also they introduced this to generation in Indonesia. But now angklung is became very popular in Europe. Many people they brought the angklung set and they introduced it in the school or universities. So let's take a look at one of these videos is one of the documentary videos that they take in Australia. Okay, thank you. Okay, that was some of the example of the performing arts in Indonesia, as you see. And now let's move to the traditional visual arts in Indonesia. And also Indonesia has many and very rich of visual art. And there's some characteristic also that still maintains in the community, that people still held these cultures, but also still holding strong customs that were passed down by the ancestor. Like many of the young generation now, they still remember how to make batik, for example, and also how to create like basketry. They learn from their grandmother, great grandfather, or and so on. And it's also same thing, you know, all the functions of these art objects has changed a little bit, but it's still maintaining the way they used it. It's still maintained, for example, for the temple ceremony in Bali, and in the Muslim also, like batik, they still use it during the wedding ceremony, also for the cremation and so on. And even though it's changed, but before, these objects they use as a pusaka, we call it in Indonesian, like the heirlooms. People sometimes, for example, like tattoo or special objects that they created, and then they use a symbol also. And also they use the kris, they make an offerings of it, and it becomes sacred. And then because of the so many influences by the other cultures, and some of these objects are used now as a decoration and also souvenirs. You can buy them if you go to Indonesia. You can buy them at the market or any art shop, and then you can bring it home to your country. So we are very open with that. But the object that you still kept in your family, that are still sacred, and that you don't sell them or you don't take them down. For example, like a statue of the in Bali, there's some of the masks we use for the temple ceremony, and some of the masks like barong dance we use for performance, that should be separated. So like souvenirs, that is why now so many artists, they created many types of artworks that you can find when you go to Indonesia. Okay, let me explain a little bit about this characteristic of the Indonesian traditional visual art. And we have, it says, a progressive. What it means that Indonesian art is often influenced by foreign cultures because of its geography, where Indonesia is in the archipelagos, right? And this work of art are developed and combined so that it still has this characteristic of Balinese, and then the artists include some of these, like other, for example, in this painting you see is very famous paintings by Mr. Iwayan Bendi. As you see here, they have this just catching your eyes. You see this art of decoration, animals, because it's one of these characteristic of Balinese or Indonesian painting is involve flora, fauna, or any other human figures or any goddess figure. But in the middle of his paintings, he created and he painted an helicopters. So this, we call it, is so progressive. Yeah, he combined. So you can see here. And one of these also characteristic is still traditional or static. The culture of archipelago adheres to method that has been passed down from generation to generation. So it's like Pak Made, are you there, Ling Fang? I won't play this video, but I would like if Pak Made or Ling Fang, could you please, Pak Made, Mr. Made is, I'm very happy to meet Pak Made here in Taiwan, and he is from Bali with his beautiful wife, Miss Ling Fang.
Hello.
So, if
Most
you could,
beautiful.
yeah, if you could just share with us, you are an just beautiful and talented artist landing up here in Taiwan. So show us a little one or two of your like patung, yeah, your statue that are still traditional, that you still held your traditional artwork here in Taiwan. Please show us.
Okay. Here we are actually in our working studio, and
Yeah. Let me explain a little bit of wood carving in Bali. Basically, in my childhood, when I just started to learn wood carving, I used to carve a lot of ebony, which is the most common wood in Indonesia for wood carving. So this is one of a few my work. It's a long time ago when I was start to learn it. We use ebony. So the the style wood carving in Indonesia, which is between Bali and other island, slightly different. Especially Bali. In Bali, mostly we carve like we use for temple, which is because in temple in Bali when we build temple, everything needs to be carved. The wood, the stone carving. So we need to when we were kid we learn when we start to learn we learn how to carve this kind of stuff. Also a special like us, like me in Koming, we are born in the place in Bali we call Gianyar, which is the center of the art, which is wood carving, dancer, whatever. Uh, the most famous artist in Bali, which is was born in our Gianyar place. So in Gianyar himself, there's a few villages. So talking about wood carving, few villages there's different style of wood carving. For example, my village, we call it Guang. We used to have a lot of we call it Garuda Vishnu. So people in Bali, if they are looking for Garuda Vishnu, they will directly go to our village. For example, let's say the place called Mas, which is next to Ubud. Over there, their style. They cut a lot of mas, like also other villages. It's a few villages they cut different things. Like one village they cut lots only animals. One village they cut only something different. So for me, especially I cut this kind of stuff. Oh, this is from my village. Well,
Okay, thank you, Pak Made. We can go back later on if some people have questions at the end of this seminar. We can have a more open discussion. Thank you so much for showing us your artwork.
thank you to invite us for this project.
Yes, yes.
Really enjoy to be involved with these projects.
Yes.
Hopefully I can help something.
We'll do it soon. Okay, thank you, Pak Made. And
Bye-bye.
Tina, please go back to the slides. And the characteristic also is religious, because as you know, Indonesia there are several religions such as Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, and Christianity. Therefore, a lot of different works of art are produced. Then it can be created in the many different or diverse of art work that often found in the mosque and calligraphy, or if you go to a temple, you see in the palace like Borobudur or any and many more. So this is just a brief about this characteristic. And of course, it's a craftsmanship. Indonesia produces many works of art. It's from natural materials or natural fiber that are found in the regions. For example, batik, as we know, some of you, if you joined the batik workshop last week with Professor Wu Peishan, then you know how can you create this batik. And also baskets, as you see here in the pictures, is some of them they made from bamboos, some of them they made from rattan. So like this one, I just happen to have one here in front of me. So I always carry this and I bring this everywhere I go. It's a very convenient to have this. You can put your coins, your money here, or you can use as anything you can put on your kitchen or on your desk, or it's very useful. And also jewelry, some of the very famous these places in Bali also, they made beautiful jewelries, like as you see in the pictures, is all handmade jewelries, including the one I wear now is also from Bali. And also leather puppet. You will see, I think last time we had wayang workshop here, if you join the workshop, last of my workshop. And also the stone carving and also painting. So these are the craftsmen that produces in Indonesia, all over Indonesia, mostly also. Okay, next one. Okay, non-realistic is also one of the characteristics. This is the example of, it means is using a lot of symbols because of the primitive beliefs. Like in Bali, we are all almost 95% of the population are Hindus. We use the symbols as like our goddess, like our god. We pray in the temple, and every temple village mostly have this type of figure. As you see here is barong, is this like similar to the Chinese lions. So this is symbols of the good spirits. And then we have also this goddess figure is a Siva. Siva is a god of a destroy in Bali. So it's these two symbols or figures are very sacred for us. And this we can also express art through the background of beliefs. But of course, if you go to Bali or to any places in Indonesia, you see this figure for the, as I said before, for performances, and some are for temple ceremony and so on. And of course, it has different meaning, elements of meanings. And then here we have some example of fine arts. For example, this paintings object in Indonesia, it's depict to natural landscapes. I always put animals, a human figure, or natural objects. Paintings contain cultural value that develop in its region. For example, in these paintings from Bali is a very famous one called Kamasan paintings, and the color and the themes of the paintings are taken from the puppet, shadow puppet, a wayang story of Ramayana or Mahabharata. And yeah, this is one of these very regional paintings from Bali. Just to see a contrast between the Balinese painting and this one is called this Cirebon glass paintings, where the artist painted through glass, as you see, and also the color different. And these are a little bit more modern because you see dragons that also influenced by the Chinese, and you see the umbrellas, you still have that, and also batik in the middle. The pattern of the batik you see in these paintings. This is the paintings from Cirebon. And we have also art sculptures, as Pak Made mentioned before. We have so many art sculptures from Indonesia, and Bali one is one of them. They carve a lot of things from stone, also wood, like Pak Made is doing right now. And also from this picture you see is from Papua Island, which is some of this statue is made of the natural fibers, like what you call like some of them from the rope or a special rope or bamboos. It's called asmat statue. The figure is any figures you can see. So in this asmat statue. And here you see craft art. What is a craft artwork that are found in everyday life in Indonesia society? Like Kriya works of art are often used for important purposes such as custom, ritual, and also wedding or even death. As you see here, some 3 different types of works here from cloth, the material art. So I would like to see and ask some of you maybe here today in the online, any of you from the material arts, you can raise or you can just turn on your speakers and tell me what are the differences between these 3 artworks of material.
Yes,
Okay, Miss Ling Fa.
Miss Mate.
Miss Made.
Yes. Yes. What's the
No.
first picture on the
The
one on the left side, Pak
batik.
Made?
Batik. But in this, the first picture is batik, no?
Yes. Anyone please comment it. Professor Wu Peishan, you are from the material arts. Could you please also come with us? Join us in our survey here.
The first one should be batik, right?
Correct. Of course, you just did the big batik workshop.
Yeah.
100 points.
And the second one, I'm not sure, but maybe it's a weaving, a kind of bouquet.
We call it songket.
Songket. Songket is a kind of
Yeah,
bouquet.
benar. Yeah. Maybe some Indonesian ladies who are here, please. Anyone also, please join us. Yes, Professor Wu Peishan. Yes. What is the material do you think they used?
Star silk, the second one,
Is
The
it?
second one?
because it looks so fine.
So fine. Yes. Yes.
And the third one could be a kind of, we called it overshot.
Mm-hmm.
Is a kind of brocade.
Yes,
When
like
you
a
have
weaving technique, right?
yeah, is a
Yes.
kind of supplementary weaving,
Yes.
but
Correct.
yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's correct. Yeah. So the first one is batik, and the second one is songket, and it's very fine. Like it can be also from hard and soft. What you call like golden. Sometimes they put like the golden threads. A bit hard
Yeah,
also sometimes they put, but this in this picture it's hard to see. I didn't choose
yeah,
the correct pictures. And the third one is correct. Yeah, it's from the weaving. Yeah, of course, we have so many types of material artworks in Indonesia. In every region, they have their like motif. Yeah, the motif, but the batik motif is still original. Yeah, it still maintains. Is one of the also heritage culture in Indonesia.
I like its batik from Indonesian because they are the first one is batiks, but that is usually they will be using the handmade to be drawing it because they are very traditional. But from the second one is the songket or tenun. We are using sometimes we are add up some of the gold lines because to make it more bright and more religious, because sometimes the gold they are make it from the religious to using it, because many place this is from Sumantara, because many place they have special of the art of the how to make the batiks. Usually of the outside of the Indonesia, just all they will be say it is the batik. But usually they are have the special name of the every of the material of the clothes. We are making it by the way of the handmade. But at now, because of the technology is very progressive, some of them is using of the factory to make it. About that, to us, if we want to be make a fun it some of the traditional of the handmade of the batik and original is traditional and very old style, it's very hard to get it, because I suspect this some of the picture is almost of the factory of the batiks because they are almost the same. Because I have seen some of the handmade of the class of the university in the Quantian. I see of the picture from the Mrs. Koming before. They all is made of the handmade. It's very beautiful because all the character they are symbol of the person. They will be character appreciates what you are. I think just that I can be add up a little, but I cannot make sure that is I opinion is right or no. I hope can be helping.
Yes, thank you, Ibu Fifi. Yeah, of course, it's hard for us to identify like materials if we don't hold the materials or we don't have it in front of us. We only see here the pictures, right? So if you involve in some type of any art workshop here in Taiwan, so I encourage you to come and join us. So then you know, and you know how to feel it. So that is why we cannot really recognize feel you material, you have to feel and you have to see face to face seeing it. Thank you very much for the input, Fifi. Okay, let's move on to the next slide.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Okay. I Google the song and tenant because I cannot tell from the pictures.
Yes.
So
The second one is the songket.
want
The
to,
third one is tenun.
yeah,
Batik,
yeah,
songket,
yeah.
tenun.
And
Yeah.
I want to make a very simple explanation about these two textile.
Please.
Both of these textile are weaving, but the second one, songket, is a kind of supplementary weaving. That which is mean you have a basic construction, just like a warp and weft. Do you know warp and the
Yes.
weft?
Yes.
So that is very basic construction of weaving clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And the supplementary means you will use the other thread
Mm-hmm.
to go into the basic structure. That's what you're talking about, the golden thread. So be a very pretty decoration on the top, on the surface.
Yes.
So it is a very fine technique fabric. And the third one is more simple texture construction. It's only warp and web.
Mm-hmm.
So why it is so colorful? Because different part of warp is different color. So you can have very different area of color to represent the beauty of the fabric.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a very short and simple explanation about this true textile.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So in terms of the materials, like the types of material, I'm just comparing here with, because you are from the material arts department. Do you have something similar like this, like the way you make or the material? Can you? Is it something?
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, that the supplementary textile, we can call it brocade. It's very old brocade.
Brocade. Brocade.
In Chinese, called 锦缎. In
Brocade.
Chinese, called 锦缎. So it's a very ancient fabric in the world. So
Okay.
we have similar.
You have the machine.
Similar technique.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. If anyone wants to study here with Professor Wu Peishan, please come. Come here.
Welcome.
Yes, thank you so much. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Okay, now it comes Pak Made's specialties. It's sculpturing. It's one of these heritage, also has been a long part of people's life in many areas in Indonesia, including Java, Bali, and also I just mentioned Pak Made Sukaryawan. It disseminates understanding about sculptures based on his creativity in traditional and heritage, because my topic here is heritage, and disseminating, and how we can combine or collaborate together with people here in Taiwan, or some students who wants to learn or study about Indonesian art culture here in Taiwan. If you have more further questions later on with Mr. Made, please just turn on your button, and then he will be answer. And honestly, I'm not a specialty in the wood carving, so you can maybe send a message to Pak Made. So now we just finished sharing with you some of the performing art and visual arts in Indonesia in terms of a little bit of theoretical point of view. And now my concern here that's why I'm writing this, talking with you today about this heritage, Indonesian heritage here in Taiwan. I want to know, what are some of the Indonesian art rules role in Taiwan so that more people know about it. So I will take a look at first one is the curatorial practice. So that means like cure is like caring, yeah, how you care about your cultures. Me as an Indonesian or Balinese here with my others few friends that are trying to promote our culture here in Taiwan, and also interdisciplinary collaboration and experimental and research-based art like me and Professor Wu Pei-shan also have tried doing collaboration with the community groups here in Taiwan, also working with some students from other places in Taiwan. And also we have to understanding of art's role, not just my art culture, but also Taiwanese culture. So we, in that way, we agree to one another, as I said, as I mentioned at the beginning. Okay, I want to make this, let's create a story in the dance, drama, and the costume. So we have to agree together. So it's not just like me, okay, I want to put this Indonesian costumes. So you have to be open. You have to be able to collaborate together. And also people-to-people interactions are very, very important. As an artist, right, we have to meet face-to-face or we get together, something like that. And also cultural collaboration. Let's take a look one by one. Okay, here's some of our example of what we have done in the past, that by doing this curatorial practice, workshop, performing arts will make people know more about performing arts in Taiwan, especially the Indonesian one, like exhibition. We joined the exhibition like Pak Made. He did a lot of wood carving exhibition in the past. Also community center, university artwork, and so on. So here's just example of what me and Professor Wu Pei-shan did last time in singing community center. So look at your corner of your eye to the right. Ya, jangan menorkan dulu, jangan tetap. Siap, sini, ya. Jangan lihat turun, tak dawan dulu. Ya, lagi buka mata. Okay, and feel here your push it a little bit. You can change the control. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2. Or you can do this, or you can just do slow. Okay. Okay, thank you, Fina. I'm sorry, I think I was mistaken. That was the one I did in the Living Art Center in Tainan City, this group. But this picture here showed the one in singing with Professor Wu. But later on, we will see also some of our videos, what we did with Professor Wu Pei-san. Okay, this one is the interdisciplinary collaboration in experimental and research-based art. As artists, it is important to open the idea of combining different art forms, including performing arts, visual art, or digital art, or any other visual art. When I came to Taiwan as an artist, educator, or lecturer to collaborate with a community center, so I'm open and I get also advice from person that I work with. So we have to agree upon this. What we are creating is more creative. Yeah, we are creative together. Okay. Okay, people to people interaction. Like for me, it's very important to interact with other people. When you do things like dancing or any music or some types of, it's very important for me. And most important thing is we can get together, we play music and we cook and we eat together, and also we share stories, exchange our feeling and listening to interconnection between, between one another. So that is also one of the role here to people interaction. I also have been working together with some professors, students, community dance group here in Taiwan. And then we exchange our knowledge and we collaborate together, and also we eat together, as I said, because food is always good and we cook together. So, for example, since I came here in Taiwan, I was invited by one of the Professor Wang Yin-fan, and she is currently in NTU, National Taiwan University in Taipei. She has brought Indonesian cultures and introduced music and dance in Taiwan. And when I talked to her last time, and I asked her, like, why do you want to do this? And what can we do together so we'll make it happen? Because I was very worried at the beginning. I don't know about Taiwanese cultures, and I've never been to Taiwan before, and I'm not sure. But I've been to the West. Most of my time was in the West, Europe and Australia, also in America. But before this time, I never been really to Taiwan and lived here in Taiwan. And she said she's very ambitious to promoting the Indonesian culture here in Taiwan. She has many students, also not just Taiwanese, but also Indonesian who studied here. Of course, not just music, but they study business, and also they study other majors. And we have also, during our collaboration in 2019, we shared idea and we met many of her students at NTU music group or gamelan group. And then she mentioned a few things during rehearsal. And I asked her also, and she told me, Taiwan, like other country in Asia, tends to look the West. This is her point of view as a professor, but often neglect its neighbor like Philippines or any other Southeast Asian country like Thailand, including Indonesia. And that is why she thinks it is important to learn about our neighbors, and learning through music, dance, or any other arts, particularly throughout hands-to-hand practice or experiences, is a great way to achieve this culture disseminating. And also she told me that there are many Indonesian people living in Taiwan, and we should learn about their culture. And also we can learn from each other. She said she wants to share the beauty of Indonesian or Balinese music and dance with the Taiwanese people, and also with Indonesian living in Taiwan as well, who never got the chance to study Indonesian culture because they came here to work, they came here to marry and so on, and they never really seen, oh, some of their children, their mom said, this is from your home country, and this is your mom home country culture, you have to learn. So by doing all this workshop together in the university, we want to give opportunity also for our people, for the Indonesian people here in Taiwan. And also when we had our performance at our concert in 2019, we have a few concerts actually, and many of the Indonesian came, and including the diplomatic people. So they see and they watch, and they were very amazed to see some of the Taiwanese students play gamelan, play music, sing the song and dance, and they were like, wow, amazing, and then also Indonesian community here, they are very, very proud. They're proud of their culture. Let's take a look at this video that we did during our concert with the Indonesian trades, with the Taiwanese trades here in Taiwan during the Indonesian, I think it was Indonesian Independence Day. Okay, next one. Let's move on. Let's see what we have here, and then we can open discussion. And also have one of the students from graduate students from NTU here is studying also with Professor Wang Infant. Wilson, are you here? Are you here at the moment? Ha! It's better.
Boleh.
That's better. Okay, Wilson. I have a bit of problem playing your video here. If you could just share with me some of your experiences, and also if you have some video you assisting Professor Wang during our practice, that would be really, really helpful. Thank you so much, Wilson.
So, hello everyone, my name is Wilson. I'm actually a PhD student at the National Taiwan University. And me and Ibu Koming met at the 2019 concert where I think we haven't seen the video of that. Maybe I can share some later.
Okay.
And then I started learning gamelan in 2017 when our school bought the first set of, at that time was only gamelan angklong with 4 keys, but then in 2018 we bought another set, Gong Kepiar, and then we asked Ibu Koming and Mate to come to teach us gamelan and dance, and then we have a concert in 2019. And then I actually want to share something that happened from my study and our which is different from the video I shared to you, Ibu. But then I think it's related to your content you said before.
Yes, that would be good.
There are many Indonesian students who came to our class to study gamelan because they think they haven't been able to. I think especially for Bali, Bali is a very special place among Indonesian islands and regions because it's one of the most foremost promoting place for Indonesian government as as a paradise, as a tourist spot. But in fact, there are many traditional traits, many traditional local philosophies and religious practices in Bali as well, which has longer history than Indonesia itself. But Indonesian students are often in Taiwan, I think, often come from Java or Sulawesi, and they haven't been able to learn very in-depth so-called Indonesian culture in their school. So I think, and Taiwan now is becoming a very multi-ethnic, multilingual, multicultural place, and the inclusion of Indonesian performing arts in Taiwan is actually a great opportunity for Indonesian students studying in Taiwan to learn about the culture back in Taiwan. So some of the Indonesian students here are they were taught, or we learned, we know about Balinese dance, how they look like, but they didn't have the opportunity to personally practice them. Like they don't have gamelan in school. They don't have teachers to teach them how to dance how to dance Puspanjali properly. So it's so I think Taiwan is providing these opportunities to Indonesian students, but and also to Taiwan itself. The inclusion of Southeast Asian culture is the future of Taiwan. So we have to learn this eventually. So why don't we just start with everything fun? And the fun fact about learning gamelan is we don't need to look at the score. There's no musical score. We don't need to. We have to get rid of all the our backgrounds of learning Western music. Or we have to be very precise. We have to be very accurate, very very professional to be an artist. But as Ibu Koming said, everyone in Bali is an artist. Like whenever you want to perform for some occasions, perform with your heart, with your daksu. Everyone is an artist. And where was I? Yeah. So yeah, you don't need to read scores to learn gamelan. You only need to.
You will get 100 for sure.
your body is the best. The best and the best media to address these performing arts. So, and then our gamelan guru will teach us gamelan right in front of us. So we just follow his action, use our body to remember the notes, and then just having fun. It's a very very important important elements in learning Balinese gamelan. And yeah, and also when we're playing gamelan, we have to look at the dancer. We look at Ibu, how she's changing her moves, how she's upgrading her emotions, and how the scenes and movements are in between the pieces. So interactions. I think in gamelan there's a term called gotekan. It's very important to how everyone in the society, everybody in the Bangul the Banja are interacting with each other to make a very, very great village, a very great performance in gamelan. So yeah, so I think my advice to, actually there are many gamelans in Taiwan now. I think the one in Tainan, I think they just gave it to Made school, the Klong gamelan. So there are more and more opportunities to learn Indonesian music and dance now, and maybe somehow we lacked a platform to share information with each other, because these gamelans are so far apart. One in Taipei, one in Nantou, one in Tainan, and maybe somehow we have to have a platform in the future to to connect every artist.
Collaborate together.
Yeah,
Collaborate.
collaborations.
Yes.
And I just spoke to Junie yesterday, and she told me that that Junie is another
Balinese.
yeah, Junie Lee also from Bali. She's also a Balinese dancer, and she has been teaching Balinese dance for almost 20 years. And then I asked her, have you been ever collaborated with the gamelan group before? She said never. So but then this is the future opportunity that we can do maybe. And also with Ibu and Made in Tainan, there's many great chances. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
if also with the costumes collaboration we had here we have a great department of material arts with Professor Wu Peishan, and she and her student and some other students can collaborate dance costume, and Pak Made can create the mask for our if we want to make a story, because in Indonesia we have so many stories to tell, then we can involve some of these artists here in Taiwan, right?
yes, and also Wayan in Pingtung, also he created a barong with other artists as well. So I think making Balinese culture localizing in Taiwan is an important step for promotion of Indonesian culture. Yeah. And also I think in last year, the new immigrants, they have a celebration of the Indonesian Independence Day as well, and with the support of the National Taiwan Museum in Taipei, and their theme for the celebration is Bali, and then they learn Puspanjali themselves, they learn Gejak themselves, they dance and sing together. So everything, yeah, they're doing their best to let Taiwanese people know about their culture, and also to unite themselves, just like to remind themselves that they're having so much variety and so much fruitful culture in Indonesia. So, and to share it in Taiwan now. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Wilson. Do you have, maybe you can show your video during your teaching with the groups, please?
Oh yeah.
Because I could not play it here.
Let me do it. Is time allowed?
Yes, we still have time. If anyone want to ask question to Wilson, to anybody's here, please. Now we are finishing up another half an hour or so, 20 minutes. We just kind of open talk, discussion. So I'm already talk too much.
So I'm sharing this. This is a piece, Topeng Dua, which Ibu Koming's dance, and it's a mass dance. Let's show it.
think that's good, Wilson. Thank you so much, Wilson. So should I just do the conclusion here? If anyone
Yes.
don't have any questions?
Yeah,
Yes.
please.
Okay. Okay. So from this all this discussion today, I conclude that heritage involves people to people connection. Yeah, we have to do more, like connect together to each other. Even though you are in Taipei, Taichung, or Tainan, let's connect more, and just the more we get together, the more we will be able to interact with other peoples, not just Indonesian, but also Taiwanese. Meaning about the Indonesian heritage in Taiwan involve collaboration and understanding. Remember, we are Indonesian. We might not understand a lot of the Taiwanese culture, so we have to learn from them. We have to be free and open, and also same as Taiwanese. If we as Indonesian maybe wants to collaborate something together, please be free to give us advice, and also just open to what you think is the best for us to promoting Indonesian culture here in Taiwan. And then also the meaning about heritage changes while the culture's artifact appears the same over time. And then also, rather than dividing people who live in Taiwan, dance music and other art, like we wear we wear our traditional clothing here in Taiwan, like batik. I'm wearing batik, like kebaya, these as you see in the pictures. So I hope, and also human to human media connecting, and we understand, oh yeah, this is, oh, we respect to one another, individual like Indonesian or Taiwanese, so we can work together more. I think that's from me. So if you also want to add some more, please, what is your advice to all of us?